Okay, hello there. As I move my iPad over here. We're on page 2. Page 1 is here. Well, I think this is page 1. I should probably... I'm looking at everything. I need to move everything down. It's like there's not enough... what if I did this? How about this? So this is page 1 and it's finished, but there's an issue. And the issue is, let's select this one and duplicate it. And I'll show you what the issue is. I've actually got it duplicated 3 times now. And the reason for that is, here I had what I thought was a good start, but I have the figures kind of small, so we're kind of this big space of the ceiling here on page 1. And I thought, okay, what if we made it where the figure's larger? And I like that better. Okay, so rather than just go ahead and just commit to the bit, I made a copy first, just in case I wanted to go back and not do it that way. So this is the real page 1 here. However, now I've got this kind of, see how it's off balance? There's a lot of space down here, there's not a space up here. I had the idea that I was going to go larger on the title box over here. And I still could put my name and some other things in here. However, it looks a bit unbalanced, so I thought what I'd do, keep that like it is. Let's take this whole thing and collapse the, we'll collapse all of it. There we go. And then move it. Oh, see, I got it actually. I'll have to move it, but I'm going to have to move all of the text too. Let's move it to about there. I could rasterize the text and collapse that as well, but I think that's not a good idea. Another thought I had was, hey, maybe do I want to do screen tones? And I cited, maybe a little bit, but not as much as I did on Book of Ruins. So I've got screen tones in this, but you may not notice them. You can see those diagonal lines there. That's actually a screen tone. And this diagonal lines up at the top. I'm running into kind of a problem in that, when you're doing science fiction and you've got a kind of complicated setup of why the setting is this way, you have a couple of menu choices about how you're going to introduce it. You can try and introduce it organically. You can kind of do a bit of an info dump, which I've done up here. And then, there's other ways to do it, obviously. And I'm still trying to work out how, but anyways, that's a good first page. Let's call that a first page with the title and everything. Looking good. A Princess of APSHAI. Now, here's page 2. I've written page 2 out. As you can see, it's got text bubbles. It's a lot of text. But he's got to kind of explain himself. And I've got a couple of problems here. I made his neck really thin here, but I've got it thicker on the very next panel. And we have to understand what he's doing and why, and that's because this is the premise of how the story gets started. So what he's doing and why, he's obviously taking Luminara somewhere. He's opening up some kind of thing here. Boop boop. He's got his fingers on these buttons. I gotta look at how I drew Is he in sleeves? He does not have sleeves. But he has kind of like these little spotty areas, and he's got forearm guards. Actually. Now that I have everything collapsed, it might be easier. Or it might be harder. I should not be using the technical pen, though. Rusty nib 1. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to have to do. Smaller eraser, please. Let's make sure the foreground stays separate from the background. Which means using a halo effect. I think we're good on that for the most part. Like a white outline. I just want to make sure there's no confusing parts where people think, oh, the background part is part of that character's body. Because also, among other things, remember, this is the first time we're seeing them. We don't know what they look like. There we go. How about her? She's got any problems? She's got slight problems. That's definitely a problem. Okay. That's a shadow, so that can touch. Alright. Let's leave it like it was. I think it's a good beginning. I actually like how my city turned out, especially when I started adding things to kind of break up these dividing lines. Let's get back to this one. On this one, I'm going to try and take my time a little bit and do more on the penciling, because my instinct before has just been to get a general outline, and then I'll try to kind of pick it up in the inking. And there's the spots that he has. What's this area under here? He has wings. His wings are smaller than the other characters. And he has a sort of square outfit here. Okay. Here we have an angled shot of him. It's like he's leaning forward to put the code into the datapad here. What he's actually doing is he's opening up a little spaceship escape pod thing. Hang on one second. We're back in. I've done a little bit more drawing. And I think we have a good sequence here. Pages like this are tough because there's not a ton of action going on, but we need them to kind of set up the storyline and kind of explain where everything's going to be taking place. And in this case, it is kind of complicated, so let's see. I'm going to try and get this set of panel borders in. There is one I'm thinking of going borderless on, and it's this bottom left one. And by putting that line there, which I just did, I don't think I had much of a choice. I think I have to rearrange all my penciled in speech bubbles. They're not that important, right? Really. And I'm going to have this speech bubble break out. Maybe this is the one I could go borderless. Oh, makes me consider. It's better this one because it's a single figure and there's no background implied. Let's go ahead and delete the line and see what it would look like. I think we're going to commit to the bit. We'll just go ahead and do it. All right. I think 4-panel pages might be my least favorite size. 4 panels just not a good size, and for a page, the layout is always a little bit challenged. I think we'll pull off all. I implied some background details, but I think what I'll do is I'll take the figure. I'll take most of the figure. Anyway. We'll drop our lower right here. She has these kind of like scorpion tail things on her hair. And we're learning a lot about the characters as we're setting this up. Right here, for example, we understand that she's the youngest. We understand how old the sister is. We understand that it's a tradition what's about to happen. And we get a little of their relationship. So I feel like we've packed this page full of enough information to get the story moving. And we're off to the races for the next page anyways. We'll see what happens. Alright, please like, follow, and subscribe, and there'll be more. I'll work on this a little bit. I doubt it'll get very far before tomorrow. And then we'll go all in and we'll be inking away. Talk to you later.